shone with majesty, he looked very fiercely upon her, and the queen fell down and was pale and fainted, and bowed herself upon the head of the maid that went before her.
Right. Go ahead.
Then the Most High changed the spirit of the king into mildness.
Now, it can't get no clearer than that. The Most High is answering their prayer. Mordecai and Esther prayer right here. The Most High changed the spirit of the king into mildness. Go ahead.
Who in a fear leaped from his throne and took her in his arms till she came to herself again, and comforted her with loving words, and said unto her, Esther, what is the matter? I am thy brother, be of good cheer.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not die, though our commandment be general. Come near.
Go read again, though.
Though thou shalt not die, though our commandment be general, come near.
So to come near. Go ahead.
And so he held up his golden scepter and laid it upon her neck, and embraced her, and said, Speak unto me. Then said she unto him, I saw thee, my ruler, as an angel of the Most High, and my heart was troubled for fear of thy majesty.
Ooh. Go back to the Revised Version 611 Bible. Start at verse 4 of 5.
Esther 5 and 4. And Esther answered, If it seem good unto the king, let the king and Haman come this day unto the banquet that I have prepared for him.
Right. So now go back to the Apocrypha and read on from there.
Additions to Esther's 15
verse 14
and 14. For wonderful art thou, my ruler, and thy countenance is full of grace. And as she was speaking, she fell down for faintness.
Right. Go ahead.
Then the king was troubled, and all his servants comforted her.
Right. So she still was afraid. And so now when she came about, she go back to verse 4 of chapter 5. And we'll continue from there.
Addition, Esther 5 and 4. And Esther answered, If it seem good unto the king, let the king and Haman come this day unto the banquet that I have prepared for him.
So it said, hey, she prepared a banquet for the king. Go ahead.
Then the king said, Cause Haman to make haste, that he may do as Esther hath said. So the king and Haman came to the banquet that Esther had prepared.
So you see her plot that she had plotted. She plotting. She said, hey, you and Haman, y'all come on and come to this banquet that I'm prepared for you. So she set them up. You know, she set them up, boy.
How Jake said, lining them up.
Lining
them up.
Lining them up. God. He ready, ain't she?
I guess he missed the scripture, stumbled not at the beauty of the woman. Esther got him with that beauty, boy. Lining them up.
Go ahead.
Verse 6. And the king said unto Esther at the banquet of wine, What is thy petition? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? Even to the half of the kingdom it shall be performed.
That. He still telling them, I said, what do you want? What do you want, baby? Say, hey, whatever it is, all the way to the half of the kingdom. You can have it. Go ahead.
Then answered Esther and said, My petition and my request is, if I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it please the king to grant my petition and to perform my request, let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them, and I will do tomorrow as the king hath said.
Right. Say, hey, you and Haman come to the banquet I prepared for you tomorrow. You're setting him up. Go ahead.
Then went Haman forth that day joyful and with a glad heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up, nor moved for him, he was full of indignation against Mordecai.
See that? So what is this? What is Haman rolling with? A lot of what? Huh?
Pride.
Pride. Wasn't that what we went over last night? When we went to Psalms 83rd chapter, first one lifted up the head, and pride was who? Edom. Straight up. I mean, can't get no clearer than that. So Haman is excited because out of everybody in the kingdom, Esther requested the king and Haman, who the king had set up their second in charge over the whole kingdom. This Edomite, what Edomite was he? Not your women, please don't answer. Please don't answer. Let your brother have a chance to work their minds first. Okay? All right? Brothers, come on. Amalek. Who is who?
The grandson of Edom.
Grandson of Edom. Khan. So, this is what we're looking at. Go ahead.
Verse 10. Nevertheless, Haman refrained himself, and when he came home, he sent and called for his friends and Zeresh, his wife.
Yeah, so he called his friends and Zeresh, his wife. Go ahead.
And Haman told them of the glory of his riches, and the multitude of his children, and all the things wherein the king had promoted him, and how he had advanced him above the princes and servants of the king.
Right, so what is Haman doing right now? What is he doing? Yeah.
He's boasting.
Huh? Yeah.
He's boasting.
God. He boasting. Yeah. He exalting himself. He exalting himself. Go ahead.
Verse 12. Haman said, moreover, Esther the queen did let no man come in with the king unto the banquet that she had prepared, but myself. And tomorrow am I invited unto her also with the king.
Hear that? So he's saying, look, out of everybody in the kingdom, just me and the king is invited to this banquet tomorrow. So he's very excited about the fact that he's the only one that's going into the banquet with the king. Go ahead.
Verse 13. Yet all this availeth me nothing, so long as I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate.
So look at this. He said, all this don't mean nothing. As long as I see Mordecai sitting at that gate, who would not do what? What Mordecai wouldn't do. That I asked you, women, Baba Kushah, not to answer, because the brother's gonna answer after y'all get the right answer. They gonna answer after y'all. Brother said it last night. Remember, brother said it last night. He said he heard the sister's answer, and then he came over and said the answer that y'all said. So, come on, brothers. Put your thinking caps on. Y'all just ain't the first time y'all been through Esther, right? Anybody the first time they been through Esther, the Purim? So everybody been through this. Everybody done been through this many years, and we've been going over this over and over again. So y'all should know this story, man. Yes. Ain't nobody behind you.
No, I was just gonna say, man, she gave the spoiler alert. Whoever was talking over there, they gave the spoiler alert.
Huh?
They gave the spoiler alert. You know, spoiler?
Yeah.
You know, spoiler.
I said con. When I say con, you don't know what con? Con is yes, right?
Con.
I said yes.
Con.
Okay, con. Okay. All right.
All right.
Help me to understand. Okay. So, read that again,
Esther,
verse 13.
5 and 13.
Huh.
Yet all this availeth me nothing, so long as I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's
He
gate.
said, all this don't mean nothing to me, a damn thing to me, as long as I see Mordecai at the gate. You know, because Mordecai didn't bow down. Remember, we don't bow down to nothing, nobody, or nothing but who? The Most High. And he's honoring that. You know, Most High said don't bow down to nothing. Ain't nothing you can see tangible, period, that you can bow down and say you bow down to the Most High. You want to see Most High dwell in thick darkness. You want to try to get close to him, close your eyes. But you see darkness. That's how you get close to the Most High. You don't see nothing, prayers or nothing that you can see tangible. Like I seen the Pope come down the steps from one celebration he was having, came down and had a little shrine with a little cross in the middle, bowing his head to that cross. Nah, man. Praying in front of that cross. Nah, man, we don't do nothing of that nature, man. Ain't nothing tangible because the Most High is an invisible power. Khan? Yeah, man, he's invisible. Straight up. So Mordecai ain't bowing down to no dang on Haman, this Edomite, demon. Read.
Verse 14.
Salakia.
yeah.
Salakia. Read 13 again. Salakia.
Esther's 5:13. Yet all this availeth me nothing.
You see what Hammond said? He said, all this means nothing to me. Now he about to go to a banquet. He up there at the top with everybody, with Esther and the king. But he said, none of this means nothing to me. Come on.
So long as I see Mordecai, the Jew, sitting at the king's gate.
Just because I see him sitting at the king's gate. Right? Just because that nigga's there. Right? And what happened is he was moved with envy and wrath and hatred because Mordecai wouldn't bow down to him.
That's right.
Read Salakia, Proverbs 27:4. So you ever wonder how somebody that got more than you, but they still envious of you? That's the situation right here.
Yeah.
You got your position,
God.
but people wouldn't bow down to me. Right? So this means nothing. Everything I got, my position means nothing as long as he's sitting there. Good?
God.
You ever done you growing up and then like you see life experiences, bro? Person got more than me. And that's the spirit of Esau.
God.
Esau got the whole earth, power, everything. He rules by the sword, but he envied the hell out of us, man.
That's right.
God.
Because why? He's not you. He can't do what you. That spirit we got. And what? We are the salt of the earth. The Most High gave us that spirit.
God.
So he's like, damn, this white man, he got everything. You got billions of dollars in the riches of the world, but you don't want to see me with $500 a week. They wouldn't even give Jake a job, but they billionaires. Got it?
That's right.
So that's that spirit. Read Proverbs 27:4 real quick. Salakia.
Proverbs 27:4.
Go ahead.
Wrath is
The
cruel,
Lord said wrath is cruel. Go ahead.
and anger is outrageous.
And when somebody's angry with you, that's outrageous. Go ahead.
But who is able to stand before envy?
Who is able to stand before
Chair right
envy?
there.
That's right.
That envy will confound you. Like, yo, but wait a minute, you in a higher position than me. But you wouldn't bow down to me, and you a Jew. Notice it says, as long as I see Mordecai the Jew.
Right.
The Lord's chosen people. Keep it down, some of y'all. Keep order. The service still going on. All right. So as long as I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate, this don't mean nothing. Okay? So you see that spirit of envy, and Esau has that heavy spirit of envy, even as a nation. Esau hates Jacob because we got that birthright. Okay? Going all the way back to Genesis.
Go there. Genesis 27. You finished with that?
Yeah, Kai. I just want
Genesis
to link that up. Esther 3:13 with Proverbs 27:4. Kai.
Go to Genesis. Genesis.
Hold up, the elder want to call the scripture. Kai.
I wanted to say, what about
26,
Amos?
No,
Genesis 27 and 41.
The priest want to pull the scripture after that.
All right, then. Yeah.
This is Genesis 27 and 41.
Kai.
This is where it comes from, man. All the way back from Esau. Jacob received the blessing, and Esau received his blessing. And once he realized that, you know, his blessing was the fatness of the earth, and he shall live by the sword. And we were given what you all know what our blessing was that our forefather gave us.
Everlasting life.
Everlasting life. That's right. So we just tap on that. Everlasting life. Live forever, man. Okay. Genesis 27 and 41. This is why all this is coming about. It started right here. This vow that was made right here. Read that.
Genesis 27:41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him.
Hear that? Esau hated Jacob. He hated us behind the blessing that we received for everlasting life. But hey, he sold his birthright.
God.
You know? But it had to happen because the Most High said the elder shall serve the younger.
God.
However the Most High do things, his ways and thoughts not our ways and thoughts, but he gonna make it happen. Point blank. You know, it's gonna happen. It's just we can't really look at You know, we don't have the mind of the Most High. We can instruct him. It says we got the mind of a Mashiach Yahushai, because all the prophets had the spirit of a Mashiach Yahushai. So here he is saying, hey, he hated our forefather Jacob, whose name was changed to H.O.I, Israel. And what he say?
And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
Yeah, see? So we're going to bury our father Isaac, and then I'm going to kill my brother Jacob. That's a vow that he put out there. He didn't do it when he met our forefather Yahuwah, you know, but he still put this vow out. That's why by the time you get Ezekiel 35:5, like we read yesterday, there it is. I mean, it's like we have a perpetual hatred against the children of Israel. Read that so you know it's not dealing with just then, it's dealing with what we got to deal with even in our future. Because our calamity of things that we're dealing with is going to have an end.
It's gone.
It's going to have an end. Read that. Just for review.
Ezekiel 35:5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
So it's going to come a time, man, that our iniquity is going to have an end.
Shot.
You understand? So when our iniquity have an end,
Shot.
Yeah.
they're going to be, you know, doing what it says here. What they're going to be doing? Read it again.
Go get that radio.
Because thou hast had a perpetual
Go
hatred,
get the radio share. Yeah. Bring it
and
in.
hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
When our iniquity had an end, when the Most High getting ready to bring us into our land again, every time, man, go to Obadiah 10. This is what they did. They always was there to accomplish the things that was written from their hatred for Jacob. Read that.
Obadiah 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off
They're
forever.
going to be cut off forever, man, for the violence against the 12 tribes of Israel. Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. You know them tribes, man. They the tribes. Okay, they say they Most High part of belong to them. How is he part of them when he say he the power of Israel, and Israel is those tribes, the 12 tribes. You understand? When we name the tribes, man, what tribe are you? They can't say nothing. Can't gainsay on that. They can say, oh, he's a power of everybody. No, he say the power of Israel. Fine. Read on.
In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them.
Our paternal wicked brother, Esau, the Edomites, was as one of them that was carrying us into captivity, man. What did he do, Reed? Most High's talking to him. Listen, Esau. Go ahead.
But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yeah, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress.
So what they do, man, they was like, oh, the ones that's, when we running away, man, especially the Babylonians, this is what it's talking about primarily when the Babylonians came, Nebuchadnezzar came to get us, man, this is what they did, man. Get first Ezra's 4:45. So you see that these are the things that, why the Most High said they would be cut off forever, because these are the things that they've done, some of the things that they've done, you know, but we know that it just said in the day of when our calamity had an end, they're going to come down with much wrath. That's Jacob's trouble. You understand? So read that. This is what they did. Now, what do we go to to honor the Most High. As far as we as the children of Israel, where do we go to honor the Most High back in the day? We have what? Temple, right. So listen what it says.
First Esdras 4:45.
Yeah.
Thou also hast vowed to build up the temple, which the Edomites burned when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldees.
This how much hatred they have, man. So they burned down our temple so we couldn't what?
Worship
the Most High.
Worship the Most High, man. That's what it's all about, even to this day, man.
Yep.
They don't want us to come back to the Most High.
No.
In all ways, shapes, and forms, man, they don't want us to be able to know how to get close to the Most High. That He can have mercy and this grace that He's going to give us, you know, and compassion and have pity upon us so that we can get out of here, man. All we got to do is learn how to please the Most High. And we out of here. My shadow don't know. Nobody know but the Most High. And that's all we have to do. Really, in essence, that's what did they do? Read.
Thou hast also vowed to build up the temple, which the Edomites burned when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldees.
Right, so that shows you that much hatred that they have. That's what we went over last night about Ezekiel 39 and 23. You know, where the heathen know they went into captivity for our iniquity, you know, because the Most High turned His face away from us for what? Why the Most High turned His face away from us? Why is all this happening right now?
for our iniquity, our sin,
which is what?
our sin.
Our sin. We sin against who?
Yeah,
Against
Most
us.
High.
See, we didn't follow what He said to do. They talking about we ain't under the law, we ain't under the commandments. So not being under the law and the commandments, and we still following that same suit while we're in the condition we in now. Well, you got to fear the Most High. You got to repent, keep the commandments of the Most High, and cry unto the Most High, man. As you see our ancestors did, because every last prophet had the spirit of a Mashiach. We are Mashiachim.
Gone.
You understand? And the Mashiach is the Most High. So as long as we can see that He's missing in our nation. Where is they talking about the Most High at? Fluently, I'm talking about. Just Him. I'm about to say He don't know when the Most High gonna send Him back. Do we know?
Nah.
So only the Most High knows. So if the Most High know when He's gonna deliver us and bring judgment on this earth, man, we gotta tap into Him, man. This might be something like y'all might not look at as closely as you should, man, but spiritually, without Him, we ain't going nowhere.
Gone.
That's why it's very important to learn about Him. That's what you see our ancestors. That's what I see. Our ancestors cried out to Him, man, and they start talking about the things He done. Remember when we came out of Egypt from captivity, and you took us across opened up the Red Sea, saving us from Pharaoh and this army. We was scared as ever, right? Crying to the Most High right there on the edge of the Red Sea. We're gonna die. Our ancestors reminded the Most High all the time. You look at what this instructions in this Bible, they always reminded the Most High of what He done. Remember you did this? Remember you did that? So now we got to do the same thing. Remember the Most High when you delivered us from, like we being delivered now. That's what we're talking about now. We're being delivered. We're going to be delivered, man, through the power of the Most High. Only. That ain't new. That's not nothing new, man. That's the Old Testament, the brothers, that's what they still believe in. Yahweh, Bashama, Mashiach, Yahweh. Mashiach said, no man come to the Father but by Him. Ain't no New Testament. Get the New Testament out of your mind and start thinking that what it is that's written there is only the law and the prophets. So the prophets had to follow the same suit as what you're telling us whenever He was on the earth in the flesh. But if you just look at it like Christians, that's the New Testament. It's just new. No, ain't nothing new. When they went to synagogue, all they read was the law and the prophets. We know the New Testament wasn't even written yet. It wasn't compiled yet until 325 AD. So I go. It's a lot. You know, go ahead. We know where we at. And that's it.
14.
5 and 14. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll read 13 again.
Yeah, read 13 and 14, because this is very important to see the mindset of Esau. We're going to see the mindset of Esau. Read this.
Esther 5 and 13. Yet all this availeth me nothing, so long as I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate.
That's hatred, man. Go ahead.
Then said Zeresh his wife and all his friends unto him, let a gallows be made of 50 cubits high, and tomorrow speak thou unto the king that Mordecai be hanged thereon.
This ain't Haman said that. This is his people. The Edomite friends and so forth. His wife and everybody said, hey, build some gallows and let Mordecai be hung on them gallows. That's hatred, right?
Gone.
They don't know nothing about Mordecai. All he said was, as long as Mordecai's living, hey, I don't care about this banquet. They said build gallows and hang him up. Read.
Then go thou in merrily with the king unto the banquet. And the thing pleased Haman, and he caused the gallows to be made.
He caused the gallows to be made. Go ahead. That's the so they can hang him. That's like the like y'all how you saw build that wood up and they ready to hang him. Yeah, they're like that. There it is. See it? Yeah. Can I show it on? Can I show it on?
Absolutely. You know.
Can I show it? We show it online.
You got it over there?
So,
Just Yahweh dog. Get his phone. Hand it to us and we'll put it online.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Gallows, right? You got it. Gallows. That's gallows right there. See? There it is. Go ahead.
Salakia, read 14 again.
Esther 5 and 14. Then said Zeresh his wife,
Zeresh, his wife,
Yeah.
like the white woman, right?
and all his friends unto him.
And all his friends unto him.
That's right.
So they all had the same mind frame.
Yeah.
Esau got that hanging and lynching spirit.
Ah.
Okay? Right? Go ahead.
Let a gallows be made of 50 cubits high.
Like 50 cubits, I think that's about 75 feet in the air when you translate the measurement. That's high up in the air, man.
Yep.
Right? Come on.
And tomorrow speak thou unto the king that Mordecai be hanged
Be
thereon.
what?
That Mordecai be hanged
So
thereon.
that hanging and lynching spirit that's in Esau's spirit, man, from back then.
Yep.
Remember the movie Django?
Yeah.
When they were trying to get Jamie Foxx or whatever the kid, and Esau said, "Ain't nobody gonna cheat the hangman in my town." Right? They were like in the Western era, they was heavy into that.
Yeah.
That's probably what that image that the Ark pulled out. But back here, during the time of the Persian Empire, the Edomites had that same spirit. And it said his wife and all of his friends. When you look at books like Without Sanctuary, 100 Years of Lynching, remember they used to photograph the lynchings and make them into postcards, right? And on the postcards, you would see the white woman, the little white children, and the white man pointing up, smiling at the Negro hanging on the tree.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing right here. Zeresh, his wife, and all his friends. They used to have lynching parties, picnic. That's where the word picnic come from. They go off a tree. Okay? So that same spirit was in Esau from back then. Same spirit, make them gallows high, hang them high. Right?
That's right.
But as we can see, that's how you know the scriptures say never trust thine enemy. Because they got the same spirit from back then. And they still hanging Jake still today. A lot of times the news downplay it, but once in a while it'll leak out a random Jake just found hanging somewhere. And you know what the narrative they push now? Suicide. Well, he was depressed and suicide, but they got that spirit till March 2025. And that's why every once in a while it'll creep out, little story will come out. They found a black man hanging in Texas. Oh no, he committed suicide. Thorough investigation, he was depressed, he committed suicide. No, you had a lynching party. Okay? So same spirit back then, man. 75 feet in the air, and they hang you, but that's a high way to hang, man.
Right,
So it says Zeresh and his wife and all of his friends.
That's right.
So all of Edomites, just like in the 1800s, 1900s, you saw them postcards with the little Edomite girl and the Edomite woman, and there's a famous one where the little white girl is pointing up to the brother with a big cheese smile on her face. And her father's like right there, and some other Edomite women and men, and she's pointing up, smiling at the Jake hanging. So that's that same spirit they had from back then.
That one was in Indiana.
Come
They got the hangman's tree in Indiana. It's called the hangman's tree.
Right.
Now, I remember growing up, man. Every month in the Jet magazine, they had one of us hanging. Or hanging. In the Jet magazine, I mean, the other one became a celebrity hanging on the tree, man. The Jet magazine, man. It was just hanging us, man, during that time, yeah.
Lamentations 5 and 5. Our necks are under persecution. Lamentations 5 and 5.
Right.
The picture you're talking about,
Read that
Elder?
again, brother?
Lamentations chapter 5 verse 5. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest.
Right.
That's right, man.
So you what was that? Lamentations 5?
Lamentations 5 and 5.
Right. Stay in that chapter. Let me see. Oh yeah. That's the same verse. Yeah. Read that one more time.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 5, verse 5. Our necks are under persecution.
Right. That's talking about the hardcore captivity also. All right.
We labor and have no rest.
But yeah, that can go into that also, man. You know, I next, because when you didn't meet that quota in slavery, or you did anything to make master mad, you got hung. Okay? You persecute me, but if I rebel or don't like it, you gonna have me hung on a tree. All right, go ahead, King.
I got the photo you was talking about, the little girl smiling at the tree.
Oh, Salakia, real quick, jump to 12. That's the verse I want. Lamentations 5 and 12.
Verse 12, hold on. Salaki.
Lamentations 5 and 12.
This book of Lamentations, chapter 5, verse 12.
Go ahead.
Princes are hanged up by their hands.
Princes are hanged up by their hands.
Right.
Right? Don't you see some of the lynching photos where Jake is tied up by his hands too?
Yep.
Tied up by his hands, tied up by his neck. And notice what it says. It says princes. Because what? Princes shall come out of Egypt. Israel are the princes that came out of Egypt. We the Yasha'Allah, the princes of the power.
That's right.
Okay? It said princes would be hanged by their hands. This was prophecy. And back here was the Babylonians. The Babylonians was doing it to us. Right? The so-called ancient Ethiopians. Right? Go ahead.
The faces of the elders were not honored.
Right, the faces of the elders were not honored. So we got a long history of it as a people, of people lynching and hanging us. And this is also the future prophecy of modern day Babylon. Princes are hanged up by their hands. Okay? God, I yield on that. Yeah.
Go ahead.
You want Esther 6?
Yeah.
We in Esther 6 and 1?
Come on.
All right.
Esther.
Somebody had their hand up?
That's okay. That's okay.
All right, go
I was just saying, I got the picture that you was talking about. That's all I
Oh
said.
yeah, that famous picture.
Yeah.
Let me see that real quick. So like we're gonna continue on.
Yeah.
Yeah, see that? Yeah, that's the famous picture right there. Little white girl smiling.
Yeah.
Right?
Come on.
That brother hanging on the tree.
See.
Hey, Elder.
Little devil-like smiling.
So like just like you said, what's the name, Elder? On Django, the dude killed a dude right in front of everybody. But when the marshal come, he like, you and your nigger come out right now.
Right.
He just killed the man in cold blood, but you gonna say you and your nigger come out.
Right.
Like, for
He
real?
said, ain't nobody gonna hang, they ain't gonna cheat the hangman in my town.
I said, man.
So like yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, from what I heard, that they said something about
You speak up.
Shemai.
1,000 oaks. Y'all know about 1,000 oaks, right? They said that they hung about 1,000 Northern Kingdom brothers.
Bring it closer a little bit.
And that's why they call it 1,000 oaks.
That's perfect.
Wow.
All right. There
Yeah, you talking about the neighborhood 1,000 Oaks, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They the reason why the neighborhood was called 1,000.
Let's get order. Let's keep order.
The reason why the neighborhood is called 1,000 oaks because they were hanging 1,000
Shemai,
Northern
let's
Kingdom.
keep order, y'all.
1,000 Northern Kingdom brothers out there. That's why they called it 1,000 Oaks.
Well, I gotta look that up. That's some interesting information.
Right. Let's continue on.
Yeah, let's continue on.
Esther 6:1.
Yeah, Salakia, real quick, let's keep order, y'all. Unless you're saying something or asking a question, it shouldn't be, all this different chatter going on. All right, we bringing out the word.
Esther 6:1. On that night could not the king sleep, and he commanded to bring the book of records of the Chronicles, and they were read before the king.
So he couldn't sleep. He said, hey, bring the records of the Chronicles of the Persian and Medes to him. Read.
And it was found written that Mordecai had told of Bigthana and Teresh, two of the king's chamberlains, the keepers of the door, who sought to lay hand on the king Ahasuerus.
Yeah, man. So it was found that Mordecai had saved the king because remember these two cats wanted to kill the king. Go ahead.
And the king said, what honor and dignity have been done to Mordecai for this?
So what have we done to Mordecai for saving my life? The king is saying, read.
Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, there is nothing done for him.
Ain't nothing done for Mordecai that saved your life, king. Right? Go ahead.
And the king said, who is in the court? Now Haman was come into the outward court of the king's house to speak unto the king to hang Mordecai on the gallows that he had prepared for him.
Hear that? No. He already asked, who is it that saved my life? It was Mordecai. When he read in the Chronicles, it was Mordecai. And here come Haman coming in front of the king and said, hey, I done built these gallows, we're going to hang Mordecai. Who it is that saved his life. Keep that in mind, read.
And the king's servant said unto him, behold, Haman standeth in the court. And the king said, let him come in.
Here come Haman. This, what is Haman? Amalek. Go ahead.
So Haman came in, and the king said unto him, what shall be done unto the man whom the king delighteth to honor?
So Haman come in, and the king said, hey, what should be done to the man that the king delighteth to honor? Go ahead.
Now Haman thought in his heart, to whom would the king delight to do honor more than myself?
He said, who would the king want to give honor to more than myself? That's still dealing with what? Pride. Pride. Right? Go ahead.
And Haman answered the king, for the man who the king delighteth to honor, let the royal apparel be brought which the king useth to wear, and the horse that the king rideth upon, and the crown royal which is set upon his head. And let this apparel and horse be delivered to the hand of one of the king's most noble princes, that they may array the man withal whom the king delighteth to honor, and bring him on horseback through the street of the city, and proclaim before him, thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delighteth to honor.
So he laying all these things out for the king to do, thinking it's him. He twisted. He thinking that the king want to honor him, so he laying all these things that he would like the king to do for himself. Not knowing, read.
Then the king said to Haman, make haste, and take the apparel and the horse, as thou hast said, and do even so to Mordecai the Jew, that sitteth at the king's gate. Let nothing fail of all that thou hast spoken.
So look, what color you think he turned in?
Red.
What color you think he turned in?
Red.
I say, beyond red, he's really good. I mean, he's like, burn it up.
He turned into a ketchup bottle.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? He's thinking it's for him. He just came in to tell the king, we're going to hang Mordecai on the gallows. He won't bow down to me. And here is the king telling him, hey, you go give all these things you thinking that you're going to get for yourself.
God.
Give it to Mordecai.
God.
Come on, man. He's pissed off. Now, go ahead.
Verse 11. Then took Haman the apparel and the horse, and arrayed Mordecai, and brought him on horseback through the street of the city, and proclaimed before him, thus shall it be done unto the man whom the king delighteth to honor. And Mordecai came again to the king's gate, but Haman hasted to his house mourning and having his head covered.
Look, Haman's got an attitude, boy. He's like, hey, he mourning, he quiet, man. Come on, this man, he really hated him to the utmost. And now he got to go out there, not only hated him on the king, but he got to go out there and present him with all the royal gifts of the king and put him on a horse and carry him. He's walking him around the city. So you know he's pissed off, boy. And he prideful too?
God.
Come on. Read.
And Salakia,
Yeah.
and he just swore it was him.
Yeah.
Who with the king would have delight more than me? So the Most High is killing that pride, man.
That's right. He breaking it down. Yeah.
That's how it's gonna be in the day when the Most High exalts us over Amalek, and who thinks he's gonna be exalted, and he gonna be mad just like this here.
Yep.
That's how it's
This
gonna
kingdom gonna last forever, right?
be. That's exactly. He gonna be perplexed as to why it's not him, but it's us.
Right.
That's exactly how it's gonna be.
Con, yes.
I got a precept what Yahweh said regarding Amalek in the book of Numbers, if you permit me to read it.
Say again?
Numbers what?
Numbers regarding Amalek being the first of the nations, where it says Amalek was the first of the nations, but at the end, latter end, he shall perish forever. It's Numbers chapter 24 and 20.
Number
Okay.
24.
Call it again and read it.
All right. This
Read
Numbers
loud.
chapter,
Read it loud,
yeah, Numbers chapter 24, verse 20.
Con.
And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever.
Con.
Alright.
On.
That's
Good
right.
precept.
praise.
Come on.
Exodus 17 and 16.
Alright.
Think about what they're dealing with right now. Exodus 17, 16.
Alright.
They going through it. No. Exodus 17 and 16.
Exodus 17 and 16. For he said, because the Most High hath sworn that the Most High will have war with Amalek.
With who?
Will have war with Amalek.
With who?
Will have war with Amalek.
We went on who Amalek came from, Con. Remember last night? Yeah, we went to Genesis 36 and 12. You know, Esau's grandson. Through Eliphaz and Tamar, right? Con? Okay, go ahead. What did you read again?
For he said, because the Most High hath sworn that the Most High will have war with Amalek from generation to generation.
That's right, man. That's why they at war right now. Until he fulfill what you just read in Numbers 24 and what?
Numbers chapter 24, verse 20.
Verse 20. Con. Go back out. That's what.
I think these are 6 and 12. No.
Yeah, I just finished reading 12.
Okay.
Esther 6 and 12. And Mordecai came again to the king's gate, but Haman hasted to his house mourning and having his head covered.
Right, so he's angry. He's like crying out. Go ahead.
And Haman told Zeresh his wife and all his friends everything that had befallen him. Then said his wise men and Zeresh his wife unto him, if Mordecai be of the seed of the Jews, before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him, but shalt surely fall before him.
He's letting them know, man, hey, if Mordecai be of the seed of the Jews, before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him. You're not going do anything against him. He said, but thou shalt surely fall before him. She prophesied his death. Go ahead.
And while they were yet talking with him, came the king's chamberlains and hasted to bring Haman unto the banquet that Esther had prepared.
All this didn't happen now. He's getting ready to go to the banquet that Esther had prepared for him and the king. Go ahead.
I don't read lips.
Esther 7 and 1. So the king and Haman came to banquet with Esther the queen. And the king said again unto Esther on the second day at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition, Queen Esther? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? And it shall be performed even to the half of the kingdom.
So you done told her this 3 times. Hey, you can have even half the kingdom, whatever you want. What is your request? Go ahead.
Then Esther the queen answered and said, if I have found favor in thy sight, O king, and if it please the king, let my life be given me at my petition, and my people at my request.
Now remember, Mordecai told her not to tell the king or anyone that she was an Israelite. Okay? So now she's revealing at this time for the first time, my people. You see? But she's an Israelite. Go ahead.
Verse 4. For we are sold, I and my people, to be destroyed, to be slain, and to perish. But if we have been sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I had held my tongue, although the enemy could not countervail the king's damage.
You know? She said, hey, we are sold, I and my people, to be destroyed, to be slain, and to perish. But he said, if we have been sold for bondmen or bondwomen, because we always went into captivity. What the scripture says is Israel a homeborn what?
Slave.
Slave.
Is he
You know,
spoiled?
she said,
Is he
Jacob
spoiled?
the servant,
Oh,
is he
right.
home? Yeah.
you know, so he said, we've been sold for bondmen and bondwomen. That's all right. He said, I held my tongue. I wouldn't have nothing to say to you. Although the enemy could not prevail the king's damage. Go ahead, because once he put that signet ring and signed that petition, it's law. It's law in the Persian Media Empire, right? So now she's going in there saying, hey, it's already been ordained by his signet ring. It's got to go forth. So now it's got to change. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Then the king Ahasuerus answered and said unto Esther the queen, who is he, and where is he, that dares presume in his heart to do so?
Say, who is this that wants to do this to you and your people? You my queen. Who want to take you out, that you can perish? Did you love her too? Read.
And Esther said, the adversary and enemy is this wicked Haman.
He right there in front of his face. It's this wicked Haman. She pointed to him. Read.
Then Haman was afraid before the king and the queen.
Haman got scared then. Go ahead.
So like you read 6 again.
Verse 6. And Esther said, the adversary and enemy is this wicked Haman.
Right. So our Benjamin's sister was calling the white man the devil.
That's right.
She was calling the devil that the Bible speaks of. God. She wasn't marrying him like Rob Judah. What's Tariq's favorite? Candace Owens.
Candace Owens.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Candace Owens. She's a Benjamite. She's married to Esau. Right? This Benjamite sister said the white man's the devil. Because he's trying to commit genocide on our people. Again, same spirit. Why did they bring crack in our communities? To destroy us. Why did they take the man out of the household? To destroy us. Why did they have the women's liberation movement? To destroy our people. Everything. Even so-called gangster rap. Right? That sister Alicia Keys, she came out and said that. She said, I believe gangster rap was created to destroy our black men. Okay? So it's always been that plot. And Alicia Keys is a Benjamite too. Right? But it was always been that plot to destroy us as a people. So right here, Esther is saying, look, this wicked man wants to get rid of us as a nation. See that? So our sisters was in the spirit back then. Okay? Right, go ahead, King.
Let me say this. Also, when you look at the devil is deceitful and evil person, devils are deceitful evil people, but Satan is enemy, adversary, and foe. So I mean, she's dealing with, she's calling them Satan too. The devil and Satan. You know what I mean? Like, you combine both, man, you got all the wickedness that you can think of and did it some more, right? That's what he calling them, man. In the king's face. And Haman's right there. Straight up. You the devil, you Satan. But see, right now, we don't realize that. You know what I mean? We looking at everybody got to be everybody. Why we can't y'all get along? But you see what she's saying?
Gone.
before the king. What if the king would have said, "No, this is my boy. Who doing this? It's Haman. Can't be Haman, because he done set him up to be second in charge of the whole kingdom."
Gone.
That's how wicked Jake would do, man.
Gone.
You know what I mean? Turn aside and say, "Oh, I ain't listen to you. This my boy," or whatever.
Gone.
Nah. Those that join unto them shall what? Fall by the sword.
Gone.
Con?
Gone.
That's what it says. Isaiah 13:15, Con.
Gone.
I know you know that one. But let's go. Read.
All right, Esther 7 and 6. And Esther said, "The adversary and enemy is this wicked Haman." Then Haman was afraid before the king and the queen.
Go ahead.
And the king arising from the banquet of wine in his wrath, written to the palace garden, and Haman stood up to make request for his life to Esther the queen, for he saw that there was evil determined against him by the king.
Right, man. He saw that the king got angry looking at it. Can you imagine that look? He already had that vicious look when she was get ready to go before him, right? You got to look. You got to imagine the fierce look that he had right there. That Haman seen him like, and he just looked at him like, what? It can even get worse. Read.
Verse 8. Then the king returned out of the palace garden into the place of the banquet of wine, and Haman was fallen upon the bed whereon Esther was.
What? What?
And Haman was fallen upon the bed whereon Esther was.
Oh, you ain't only gonna kill her people, you gonna rape my wife? You in the bed with my wife? You done fell in the bed where Esther was. Go ahead.
Then said the king, "Will he force the queen also before me in the house?"
Hey, you gonna rape my wife?
Gone.
After what you done and what you done told me? He already angry, so look how angry he's getting now. You said you gonna force my wife before me in my house? Go ahead.
As the word went out of the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face. And Harbonah, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, "Behold also, the gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai, who has spoken good for the king, standeth in the house of Haman." Then the king said, "Hang him thereon."
That's right.
Gone.
The gallows that he prepared for Mordecai, say hang Haman on them same gallows that he perplexed to be able to put us on.
Gone.
Not only Mordecai, but he want to put all of us on there, man.
Gone.
Many as he could on those gallows. You're gonna see there's a lot of Hamans.
Gone.
Loops that he had. Read.
Verse 10. So they hang Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. Then was the king's wrath pacified.
Yeah. Then was the king's wrath pacified. Go ahead. So Haman is gone. Go ahead.
Esther 8 and 1. On that day did the king Ahasuerus give the house of Haman, the Jews' enemy, unto Esther the queen. And Mordecai came before the king, for Esther had told what he was unto her.
So now Esther done told the king that Mordecai is her what? Her what? Uncle?
Cousin.
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 Huh?
Cousin.
Cousin, yeah, because for years we thought he was her uncle.
Yeah, cousin.
God, right? Right? We thought he was her uncle. But we realize that now that Mordecai is her cousin that raised her. Go ahead. So now she's telling the king, hey, I'm an Israelite. I'm on the tribe of Benjamin. Go ahead.
Salakia,
Yeah.
he most likely had to be an older cousin.
Yeah.
You know, she probably was an older cousin because when her parents died, he took her as his daughter. But
Gone.
he most likely was an older cousin. But for years, brothers used to think uncle. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I remember that. Yeah.
Right.
Gone.
Go ahead.
Gone.
God, go ahead.
Esther 8 and 2. And the king took off his ring, which he had taken from Haman, and gave it unto Mordecai. And Esther set Mordecai over the house of Haman.
That's right. So now Mordecai's second in charge, man, in the
God.
Persian Mede Empire.
Gone.
God, go ahead.
And Esther spake yet again before the king, and fell down at his feet, and besought him with tears to put away the mischief of Haman the Agagite, and his device that he had devised against the Jews.
Right. So hey, he said, Esther spake again to the king and fell down at his feet. And when she fell down at his feet, what is she doing?
Repeat the question. Elder.
When Esther fell down at the king's feet, what is she doing?
What is
She's
he
pleading.
doing?
She's pleading with the king.
See what?
She's
Right.
pleading with the
Beseeching.
king.
She's begging in tears.
Right, she's begging, it sounds better, and she's humbling herself before the king. It's very important because he's already angry. So now she's going before him and she's showing her humility and her respect for the king. Remember from the beginning when Vashti didn't come to him, what the men said? You got to get rid of her because all the women going to follow her example. So now here she is in front of him, and she's bowing down herself to him and showing humility before him. You know what I mean? Humbling herself before him. So that whatever she desires, because it's going to get deeper, I mean, he going to grant it to her. How humble can you be when the woman comes to your feet and lay down, they go before you and talking to you? You know what I mean? That's real humble. Y'all probably can't relate to that, huh? I ain't doing that. Woman's the passive man, now. Don't you know that? The new thing in the earth, too. Woman's the passive man. You gotta do that. Y'all better bow down to us. Well, we do, but don't just be bow down and get that ring on their finger.
Right.
They bow that one in.
That's a European custom.
Right.
European custom, right? But they still follow the same suit.
Something.
Is that, I forget something, right? I mean, that's what I'm saying, but the majority, the majority of people gonna follow the way of the world anyway. That's why he say, come out of her, my people. But go ahead.
A lot of times they tell Jake no anyway.
Right, that part.
They get out on his knees with a $10,000 ring and shoot like no.
It depends on how valuable the ring is.
Right.
I thought Diamond was a girl's best friend.
Right, go ahead.
Esther 8 and 4. Then the king held out the golden scepter toward Esther. So Esther arose and stood before the king and said, if it please the king, and if I have found favor in his sight, and the thing seemed right before the king, and I be pleasing in his eyes, let it be written to reverse the letters devised by Haman the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, which he wrote to destroy the Jews which are in all the king's provinces.
Yeah, so it had to be something that was written by the king to reverse, because once he signed it with his signet ring for them to kill us, then that had to go forth. So now she has to reverse it so that he would bring forth a decree that gonna happen from what it is that she desired for the king to do. Read.
Verse 6. For how can I endure to see the evil that shall come unto my people? Or how can I endure to see the destruction of my kindred?
She's breaking it down, man. Go ahead.
Then the king Ahasuerus said unto Esther the queen, and to Mordecai the Jew, behold, I have given Esther the house of Haman, and him they have hanged upon the gallows, because he laid his hand upon the Jews. Write ye also for the Jews, as it liketh you, in the king's name, and seal it with the king's ring. For the writing which is written in the king's name, and sealed with the king's ring, may no man reverse.
That's right. So he's telling her, write whatever you want to write. Just here's my ring, put it in that ink, and seal it with the king's seal, signet ring. It's going to be put into play. Once you do that, it reverses the judgment of what Haman had said. Everybody got to bow down to him. You bow down to him, you're going to put to death. All that's going to be reversed. Read.
Verse 9. Then were the king's scribes called at that time in the 3rd month, that is, the month Sivan, on the 23rd day thereof. And it was written according to all that Mordecai commanded unto the Jews, and to the lieutenants, and the deputies and rulers of the provinces which are from India unto Ethiopia, 127 provinces, unto every province according to the writing thereof, and unto every people after their language, and to the Jews according to their writing, and according to their language.
So he's writing to all 127 provinces, man, letting them know that the decree that for them to kill us is going to be reversed in every 127 provinces. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And he wrote in the king Ahasuerus' name and sealed it with the king's ring and sent letters by post on horseback and riders on mules, camels, and young dromedaries, wherein the king granted the Jews which
Wait a
were...
minute, hold up. I want you to go to Apocrypha, Salakia. Go to, go back to the Apocrypha. I wanted you to start at the 6th verse. Go to the Apocrypha. Start at chapter 16. Read verse 6 again.
Additions to Esther.
No, wait a minute. Where were you at? Where were you at? Verse what?
In the Apocrypha or...
Yeah, in the revised version.
Oh, that was...
15, right?
No, he was in 11.
Go ahead, read 11.
8 and 11.
Read 11 and 12.
Esther's 8 and 11. Wherein the king granted the Jews which were in every city to gather themselves together and to stand for their life, to destroy, to slay, and to cause to perish all the power of the people and province that would assault them, both little ones and women, and to take the spoil of them for a prey.
So he said, hey, he ordained that we're going to slay, we're going to destroy, slay, and cause to perish all the power of the people and provinces, which is 127 provinces, that would assault them, both little ones, that's little children, you know, and women, and to take the spoil, meaning Ra will take everything they have of them for a prey, he's saying. Go ahead. Now read verse 12, then we'll go to the Apocrypha.
Verse 12. Upon one day in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, namely upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar.
So this is the 12th month on the 13th day, like we had yesterday, right? In the month of Adar, which is what month for us in our calendar? The what month in number?
April.
The what?
April.
No.
March.
What month in our calendar is this?
3.
Huh?
3.
No. What month is this that we're dealing with, when we get this victory over our enemy, to be able to go and do what he said do?
12th month?
It's going to be the what month? When we actually do it, I'm saying. The what?
Oh.
You said it right.
Purim.
The what? Yeah, when Purim is. On what month?
The 12th month.
12 months.
That's what I said. I said 12th
Well,
month.
that's a
That's
dog.
what I said.
You didn't speak loud. I couldn't hear
Okay.
you.
Okay.
That's a
Like I said,
dog.
speak loud.
Okay. Yeah.
When you right, speak loud. And you wrong. I can't. You gotta speak loud.
God,
You heard him?
God.
I didn't hear him. You heard him?
No, I said 12th month. I said
Just in
12th
case
month.
they wrong.
Yeah, speak loud, man.
Okay,
If you loud,
okay.
that's all right.
I
Huh?
thought you meant the calendar
time.
month that we're in now,
No.
which is Adar.
No, this don't
Which
mean
I,
that.
that's what I thought
Yeah,
you were saying.
no, I know. But this don't. No, no. Like looking outside right now, the moon is full.
Right.
The 15th, right, or the 12th month.
Right.
15th day, look outside, the moon is full.
Right.
You know what I mean? Straight up. So let's continue. The Bible, yeah. We on page 57. If you have the Cambridge University Press and read Apocrypha, you start at chapter 16. You see how this going together with Esther from the 1611 revised version all the way into the Apocrypha. Just how you read it to get the whole understanding. When they say the Apocrypha is not canon, you'll never know this. Con? Yeah, read.
Additions to Esther 16 and 1. The great king Ahasuerus unto the princes and governors of 107 and 20 provinces from India unto Ethiopia, and unto all our faithful subjects, greeting. Many, the more often they are honored with the great bounty of their gracious princes, the more proud they are waxen, and endeavor to hurt not our subjects only, but not being able to bear abundance, do take in hand to practice also against those that do them good. And take not only thankfulness away from among men, but also lifted up with the glorious words of lewd persons that were never good. They think to escape the justice of the Most High, that seeth all things and hateth evil.
That's right. That's the Most High. That's our power.
Time.
Go ahead.
Oftentimes also fair speech of those that are put in trust to manage their friends' affairs have caused many that are in authority to be partakers of innocent blood, and have enwrapped them in remediless calamities, beguiling with the falsehood and deceit of their lewd disposition the innocency and goodness of princes. Verse 7. Now ye may see this, as we have declared, not so much by ancient histories, as ye may, if ye search what have been wickedly done of late through the pestilent behavior of them that are unworthily placed in authority. And we must take care for the time to come, that our kingdom may be quiet and peaceable for all men, both by changing our purposes and always judging things that are evident with more equal proceeding. For Haman, a Macedonian, the son of Amadatha, being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood, and far distant from our goodness, and as a stranger received of us, have so far forth obtained the favor that we showed toward every nation, as that he was called our father, and was continually honored of all the next person unto the king. But he,
So like you're continually honored of all men, as the next person until. Read that last part again. From and was.
it say all men in yours?
Yeah.
Okay, it don't say it in mine. I got it.
I got it.
Oh, you reading off the. Okay, I thought you was reading out of the red one. Go ahead, King.
All right.
What do it say in yours? Read that again. What it says in yours.
Yeah, verse 11. And was continually honored of all the next person unto the king.
Next person. It say all men. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 12.
You saw something else, ain't you? You see how they change things up, man.
Gone.
Straight up. Go ahead.
But he, not bearing his great dignity, went about to deprive us of our kingdom and life, having by manifold and cunning deceits sought of us the destruction, as well of Mordecai, who saved our life, and continually procured our good, as also of blameless Esther, partaker of our kingdom, with their whole nation. For by these means he thought, finding us destitute of friends, to have translated the kingdom of the Persians to the Macedonians.
See? You see that? He was really plotting to take the kingdom from the Persians and the Medes, thinking that he was going to get in that seat and be able to take them down. Did you read that last part again? Thinking what?
For by these means he thought, finding us destitute of friends, to have translated the kingdom of the Persians to the Macedonians.
He's a Macedonian. That's Edomite. Khan?
Ah.
At that time, wasn't time though. Go ahead.
So like you read that again.
Verse 14. For by these means he thought, finding us destitute of friends, to have translated the kingdom of the Persians to the Macedonians.
But get Micah 2 and 2. Right, so it said what? Esau's always plotting.
That's right.
This whole thing was really for them to take over the Persian Empire.
God.
God? They was going to exterminate us and then take over. Esau's always plotting.
Come.
Right, that's why when you read these scriptures, man, you got to see what the Most High is saying. God, hold your point 1 second, King. You got to see what the Most High is saying. He wanted to translate the kingdom from the Persians to the Macedonians. So Esau was coveting the Persians' kingdom.
God.
Now remind you, Daniel saw the vision of the 4 kingdoms, okay? But it was time for the Persians to rule.
Yeah.
But Esau, greedy, wicked, I said, no, I want my time now. You want to get your, the Greeks was next. The Greeks was after the Medo-Persian Empire, because that was the 3rd kingdom that Daniel saw. But this greedy, wicked devil, he want to overdose the Persians. In the meantime, exterminate them Jews. Okay? Micah 2 and 2, Salakia.
Micah 2 and 2.
Good.
And they covet fields.
They do what?
And they covet fields.
They covet fields. They have a strong desire Right? They covet fields, they covet different kingdoms and parts of the world. Go ahead.
and take them by
And
violence.
take them by violence. Look, let's wipe out the Israelites and let's take over the Persian Empire. Right? Remember, he plotted to assassinate our servants.
God.
Right? He plotted to assassinate them. He wanted to have the two eunuchs and chamberlains assassinate our servants so the Greeks can take over the kingdom. The Macedonians can take over the kingdom. The Edomites back then, whatever you call them, whatever title and label they went over in ancient time, they were all Edomites.
God.
Okay?
God.
Right, read on.
And take them by
And
violence.
do what?
And take them by
Come
violence.
on.
And houses. And take them away.
Right, and take them away. So what does Esau do? He got the earth through violence.
God.
That was his blessing. The priest brought it out earlier in Genesis 27.
God.
Okay?
God.
So that's what this whole thing was about.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to kill them Jews because we hate them, but we're going to overthrow the Persian Empire.
God.
Right? Esau wanted his time before. Was it the Most High going to let y'all rule? But no, they wanted it then and now.
God.
Because they're a covetous nation, man.
God.
Okay?
God.
All right, so the rest of the books are Esther 16 and 14 with Micah 2 and 2. So that's it on that.
Go to First Maccabees 1 and 1. It's clear. I'm gonna be clear as ever. Because Haman was what? Beside Amalek, he was a what?
An Edomite.
No, what we just
Macedonian.
read. Macedonian. Khan. So look at this. Yes.
And Alexander the not so great, who later took over, was a Macedonian with the Greek army. But he was a Macedonian.
Read that.
First Maccabees.
Y'all would die. Check this out.
1 and 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian.
The who?
The Macedonian.
See? Edomite. Right?
Come.
Read.
Who came out of the land of Shittim,
Mm-hmm.
has smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes.
This is gonna happen in the future. Not when Haman wanted it to happen. He's gone. He finished. Go ahead.
That he reigned in his stead the first over Greece.
First over Greece, man. The Greek Empire, man.
What was that? First
First Maccabees 1 and 1.
1 and 1.
Yeah, so you see how it goes right along with what we said as far as being the Macedonians being the Edomites.
Right.
So go ahead, we're going to hurry up and get through this. We can finish this up.
Kind.
Go ahead, Doc.
Where we at? 16, 15.
Yeah. Then we just want to read on to the end, get this judgment
Kind.
and be done.
God.
Go ahead, Doc.
And make sure y'all going over these notes.
God.
Kind.
God.
Each year when the feast days come, you can always refer. You don't have to wait till the feast day to read the book of Esther. You don't have to wait till Purim to read Esther. Okay?
God.
But if you taking meticulous notes, you know when the feast come up, you got notes from over the years,
Right.
so you know how to answer the questions, explain it, and one day you may have to preside over the service.
God.
Okay?
God.
So you got your notes on how to explain and break things down.
God.
Okay?
God.
Go on, let's read.
Additions to Esther 16 and 15. But we find that the Jews, whom this wicked wretch have delivered to utter destruction, are no evildoers, but live by most just laws,
God.
and that they be children of the Most High and Most Mighty living power, who have ordered the kingdom both unto us and to our progenitors in the most excellent manner.
God.
Wherefore ye shall do well not to put in execution the letters sent unto you by Haman the son of Amadatha. For he was that worker of these things. For he that was worker of these things is hanged at the gates of Susa with all his family. The Most High, who ruleth all things, speedily rendering vengeance to him according to his deserts. Verse 19. Therefore ye shall publish the copy of this letter in all places, that the Jews may freely live after their own laws. And ye shall aid them, that even the same day, being the 13th day of the 12th month Adar, that they may be avenged on them who in the time of their affliction shall shed upon them. Verse 21. For the Almighty Most High have turned to joy unto them the day wherein the chosen people should have perished. Ye shall therefore among your solemn feasts keep it an high day with all feasting, that both now and hereafter there may be safety to us and the well-affected Persians, but to those who do conspire against us a memorial of destruction.
That's
God.
right. Anybody coming against us, a memorial to destruction. Go ahead.
God.
Verse 24, therefore every city and country whatsoever which shall not do according to these things shall be destroyed without mercy with fire and sword.
That's right, man. They're gonna be killed.
That's right.
That's a reversing of the judgment against us. You see? And killing us. Go ahead, go back to 2 Ezra 8:13. Eight 13.
Oh, Esther.
That's 8:13.
Yeah, Salaki.
Esther's 8:13. The copy of the writing for a commandment to be given in every province was published unto all people, and that the Jews should be ready against that day to avenge themselves on their enemies.
So you see what that decree that was written, the reverse, us being put to death. Now you see it come back to Esther 8:13 is making sense for that. Read. You blessed it? You blessed the oil?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 14. So the post that rode upon mules and camels went out, being hastened and pressed on by the king's commandment. And the decree was given at Shushan the palace. Verse 15. And Mordecai went out from the presence of the king in royal apparel of blue and white, and with a great crown of gold, and with a garment of fine linen and purple. And the city of Shushan rejoiced and was glad.
Go ahead.
The Jews had light and gladness and joy and honor, and in every province and in every city, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness, a feast and a good day. And many of the people of the land became Jews, for the fear of the Jews fell upon them.
Yeah, how many of the people of the land became Jews? For the fear of the Jews fell upon them. How did they become Jews?
Fear.
You say, and many of the people of the land became Jews, for the fear of the Jews fell upon them.
You said
Nobody want to be us, right? But whenever there's something happening, there's gonna be some destruction. Everybody join unto us. Remember, tell you all faces gonna gather blackness. I'm an Israelite. I'm a Jew, right? So hey, they look like us. They gonna try to pass like us. But they was ready to kill us before this decree came out. You see? So now they want to be us. Go ahead, read on. We got 9 and 10 to go. We can read that. Yeah. Go ahead.
Esther 9:1. Now the 12th month, that is the month Adar, on the 13th day of the same, when the king's commandment and his decree drew near to be put in execution, in the day that the enemies of the Jews hoped to have power over them, though it was turned to the contrary, that the Jews have rule over them that hated them.
See, these people hate us, man. They hate us with a perpetual hatred, man. And they pass it down to everybody else that would join unto them. They want to kill us. Go ahead.
Verse 2. The Jews gathered themselves together in their cities throughout all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus,
Ahasuerus. Go ahead.
to lay hand on such as sought their hurt, and no man could withstand them, for the fear of them fell upon all people.
That's right, man. We're ready to put in some work. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And all the rulers of the provinces, and the lieutenants, and the deputies, and officers of the king helped the Jews, because the fear of Mordecai fell upon them.
That's right, man. Everybody want to help us now, because the fear of Mordecai fell upon them. Mordecai has been exalted to be a second in charge. Go ahead.
Verse 4. For Mordecai was great in the king's house, and his fame went out throughout all the provinces. For this man Mordecai waxed greater and greater.
Go ahead.
Thus the Jews smote all their enemies with the stroke of the sword, and slaughtered, and destruction, and did what they would unto those that hated them.
I'm going to say it twice, right? Those that hate us. Those that hate us. The Most High came through to be able to allow them to be slaughtered. Answering the prayer of Mordecai and Esther. Go ahead.
And in Shushan, the palace, the Jews slew and destroyed 5,000 men. And Parshadatha and Dalphon.
Count. Count, y'all. 5,000 men. Go ahead.
And Aspatha. And Paratha. And Adalia. And Aradatha. And Parmastah. And Parmastah. And Arasai. And Aradai. And Vashzatha. The 10 sons of Haman, the son of Hamadatha, the enemy of the Jews, slew they, but on the spoil laid they not their hand.
Hear that? We ain't want nothing they had, man. On the spoil, we ain't want nothing they had. Go ahead.
On that day, the number of those that were slain in Shushan, the palace, was brought before the king. And the king said unto Esther the queen, the Jews have slain and destroyed 500 men in Shushan the palace, and the 10 sons of Haman. What have they done in the rest of the king's provinces? Now what is thy petition, and it shall be granted thee? Or what is thy request further, and it shall be done?
Now let me show you something. Haman's sons were hanged. They hung Haman's sons on the gallows. I want you to go to Ecclesiastes 30:3. It's very important to see this. Why the sons all the time have to be killed. Read this.
Ecclesiasticus 30:3. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him.
Right. Now we're looking at Haman's sons. Con, go ahead. He taught teaching his sons, like you said, hey, they hate us, the Jews, the Israelites. Go ahead.
Though his father died,
Now Haman's dead. Go ahead.
yet he as though he were not dead.
It was going to be though he had not died. Read.
For he had left one behind him that is like himself.
He done left 10 sons behind him. That's one like himself. Go ahead.
While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him. And when he died, he was not sorrowful.
See, when he died, he was not sorrowful. Go ahead. Why?
He left behind him an avenger against his enemies.
He left behind him 10 avengers against his enemies. Read.
And one that shall requite kindness to his friends.
Right. Con, so hey, that's why they had to put him to death, man. Give rid of them sons, man. They'll be a vision for their daddy. Go ahead. Back to Esther.
Salakia, when you can watch a movie called One Night with the King. It's on YouTube. It's about the so-called story of Esther. Of course, it's Edomites playing it. It's like the 10 Commandments or something. But they go in depth in that movie how when Saul left Agag alive, the Amalekite, that seed and their descendants are the ones that rose up during the Persian Empire to get vengeance on Israel. See, this was a deep-seated hatred they had against us.
Yeah.
That's when it said Haman, the enemy of the Jews. This went back in generations because the Lord said he will have war with Amalek. So when Saul rebelled and didn't kill off all the Amalekites, that seed of Agag lived on, going all the way through up until Haman. I know y'all probably went into that yesterday because it goes into that in the 3rd chapter. But this is a generational thing. So when Esau and Jacob came out the womb, the Lord said, what? We would be enemies forever. We were struggling in the womb. So we will always be enemies. You will never get along with this man. It's already predestined by the Most High. Right? So when you look at it, no matter what our people do, they will never be able to get together with Esau. This was a generational thing going back. Okay?
Go ahead.
Y'all can check that movie out. Like I said, it's Esau, but it goes into a little bit of the history from a Hollywood perspective of the story of Purim.
God.
God, it's
Go
called One Night with the King. God?
God.
God.
Done. Go ahead,
Esther 9:13. Then said Esther, if it please the king, let it be granted to the Jews which are in Shushan to do tomorrow also according unto this day's decree, and let Haman's 10 sons be hanged upon the gallows.
See that? Say kill his sons. Why? Because why she said kill his sons? Because what we just read in Ecclesiastes 30th chapter.
God.
They're gonna do he gonna do
They
what?
might rise up to kill you later.
Yeah, leave a avenger
Right.
behind.
Right.
10 avengers, right? Go ahead.
Verse 14. And the king commanded it so to be done, and the decree was given at Shushan, and they hanged Haman's 10 sons.
Right. Go ahead.
For the Jews that were in Shushan gathered themselves together on the 14th day, also of the month Adar, and slew 300 men at Shushan. But on the prey they laid not their hand.
So how many men they done killed so far?
Well, 5,010? You said 5,000 first, right? Then 10?
How many did it say first?
I thought it was
500.
Oh, 500, I'm sorry.
And now 300.
Okay.
800. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Verse 16. But the other Jews that were in the king's provinces gathered themselves together and stood for their lives and had rest from their enemies, and slew of their foes 75,000.
How many?
75,000.
What we got? How many? What number we got now? 75,800.
300.
How many?
8,300.
8,300. Come on, let's go.
But they laid not their hands on the prey.
We don't want nothing they have. Go ahead.
Verse 17. On the 13th day of the month Adar, and on the 14th day of the same rested day, and made it a day of feasting and gladness.
See, this is what we've done as a people. It's not ordained, through the Most High, but we as a people ordained that we would honor our victory over our enemies when they roll the dice to find out when they're going to kill us. And it will reverse on them. We have an opportunity to kill them. You understand? On the 13th day, and she risked her life for us. The 13th day, and she went back to the king and said, hey, if it please the king, let us kill him another day. Not only that first day, she said, let us kill him another day. That's the woman.
God.
That's the woman, right? She like, hey, that ain't enough. Kill him another day. Push that red button. Boom! Nuke them all! Go ahead, we got to get finished with this,
God.
Verse 18. But the Jews that were at Shushan assembled together on the 13th day thereof, and on the 14th thereof, and on the 15th day of the same they rested, and made it a day of feasting and gladness.
That's what we're supposed to be doing, man, honoring this day, man, of the victory over our enemies, man. We're feasting and gladness, man. It's supposed to be a happy time, man. Each feast day is supposed to be happy, man. Nobody's supposed to be coming in with the negative. That's the devil coming in with negative. Whenever you look at this, our feast days, anybody coming negative, man, that's the devil coming in, man. Because he said it was supposed to be, you done said it twice. Feasting and gladness, man. It's supposed to be a happy time, man. Leave our stuff out there in the world, man. Don't come with that negative during the time that we had these feast days, man. You know what I'm saying?
God.
All right, let's go.
Verse 19. Therefore the Jews of the villages that dwelt in the unwalled towns made the 14th day of the month Adar a day of gladness and feasting.
That's about 3 or 4 times that it said this. Gladness and feasting, right? Go ahead.
And a good day.
Good day, go ahead.
And of sending portions one to another.
Now they got Christmas when they do that, but this is the time that we can do this. Sending portions, giving presents and so forth to each other. Not on feast of dedication. I mean, you can do it anytime you want to, but I mean, you see this particular day that we honor, we send portions to each other. Go ahead.
Verse 20. And Mordecai wrote these things and sent letters unto all the Jews that were in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus, both nigh and far, to establish this among them, that they should keep the 14th day of the month Adar, and the 15th day of the same yearly.
Yearly, man, we kept this day.
God.
honoring it like they honor 4th of July every year, right?
Con.
Same thing. You know, them getting the victory over the Britain. You know, here we are getting the victory over the wicked Haman and all those that were joined unto him. We killed everybody.
Gone.
Remember, all these nations were joined unto Esau
Gone.
in the 127 provinces. Okay,
Gone.
read.
Gone.
Verse 22. As the days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies, and the month which was turned unto them from sorrow to joy, and from mourning into a good day, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of sending portions one to another, and gifts to the poor. And the Jews undertook to do as they had begun, and as Mordecai had written unto them. Verse 24, because Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the enemy of all the Jews, had devised against the Jews to destroy them, and had cast Pur, that is, the lot, to consume them and to destroy them.
You know, I seen something on YouTube, and it was like the Amalekite talking about the Amalek, and the Purim.
Oh, they dress up.
Huh?
They dress up in costumes.
Did they do all that? But I'm just saying the title was Amalek and the Jews. Like Amalek is not them.
Oh, God.
Like Amalek and the, and
Right.
Purim.
Right.
Like I didn't get a chance to look at it, but I'm saying the title was like Amalek and Purim. You know what I mean? Like they gonna talk about Amalek and this and that. See what Amalek did? Who is Amalek? You know, I gotta look at it to see, but it's called Amalek and Purim. You know what I mean? Like they're looking at it like, I gotta look at it because who is they saying Amalek is?
Today they say it's the Palestinians.
The Palestinians.
Palestinians?
Yes.
See?
As if they're not Ishmael.
Right, I heard that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
God.
They're liars from the womb. Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 25. But when Esther came before the king, he commanded by letters that his wicked device, which he devised against the Jews, should return upon his own head, and that he and his sons should be hanged on the gallows. Wherefore they called these days Purim, after the name of Pur.
Pur is when they rolled the dice. They rolled the dice, to determine. They was rolling the dice to determine when they was going to do this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We can't do it on this day because that feast day is this day, whatever things that. Whereas we will be all together, trying to come together. Got to do it on the day that we're not coming together. You know, like we didn't have anything as a holy day or any time, that we would do this. This is like, I'm going to tell you, like when you look at Purim, the 14th day, always the Passover is a month after that.
Gone.
You understand? When we have, like we right now, the Passover, a month right after we had the first day of Purim. It's always a month later, whenever we have it, you see?
Gone. Gone.
So the Passover always falls a month later, 30 days later, and so forth, you know what I mean?
Gone.
Generally, it'll be on the, like we see now, almost to the full moon.
Gone.
Because it'll be the 15th day, it'll be the full moon that, we observe. So that's how you know. Go ahead.
Therefore, for all the words of this letter, and of that which they had seen concerning this matter, and which had come unto them, the Jews ordained and took upon them, and upon their seed, and upon all such as joined themselves unto them, so as it should not fail that they would keep these things, that they would keep these 2 days according to their writing, and according to their appointed time every year. Verse 28, and that these days should be remembered and kept throughout every generation, every family, every province, and every city, and that these days of Purim should not fail from among the Jews, nor the memorial of them perish from their seed. Then Esther the queen, the daughter of Abihail, and Mordecai the Jew, wrote with all authority to confirm this second letter of Purim.
See, you see, this is supposed to be kept every year, man. And we coming back to our, it's beautiful because I did a lot of these by myself and with a few people
Gone.
years ago. When we started doing it, realized we're supposed to do it.
Gone.
We wasn't coming together like this. It's not something that we all came together back in the day. You know what I mean?
Gone.
And we recognize that, that's beautiful, man. That brothers now coming together, man, and sisters coming together now to prepare the Halloween, man. We've been talking and talking, looking at what we did in our custom, man, and coming together to observe these things that we said we're gonna do. You hear them saying it from generation to generation, right? Kai? Yeah, come on. All praise to the Most High.
Praise.
Go ahead.
Verse 30. And he sent the letters unto all the Jews to the 127 provinces of the kingdom of Ahasuerus with words of peace and truth, to confirm these days of Purim in their times appointed, according as Mordecai the Jew and Esther the queen had enjoined them, and as they had decreed for themselves and for their seed the matters of the fastings in their cry. And the decree of Esther confirmed these matters of Purim, and it was written in the book.
Go ahead. Last verse, last chapter.
Esther, chapter 10 and 1. And the king Ahasuerus laid a tribute upon the land and upon the isles of the sea, and all the acts of his power and of his might, and the declaration of the greatness of Mordecai, whereunto the king advanced him. Are they not written in the book of the chronicles of the kings of Media and Persia? Verse 3. For Mordecai the Jew was next unto King Ahasuerus, and great among the Jews, and accepted of the multitude of his brethren, seeking the wealth of his people, and speaking peace to all his seed.
Right, so Mordecai, man, he was set up right under the king, man, King Ahasuerus, right? Which reminds us of who else was set up right under the king?
Oh, Haman. You mean in this text?
No, who else in our history was set up right under the king? Yes.
Daniel and Joseph.
Khan, very good. That's right.
Gone.
So when Joseph was set up, man, they talking about we was in captivity. We were in captivity under the Egyptians when Joseph set up right after Ramses the first died. We was ruling, man.
Right.
We had power for four dynasties. So when you see Egypt was powerful, we was ruling.
Right.
You understand? So what happened after Pharaoh got drowned?
Then come a Pharaoh that knew not Joseph.
Yeah, right. That's when we went into captivity.
Right.
I think about 350 years we ruled.
Right.
In the last 80 years we was in captivity. Then we came out. From, the research that's been done, Yes.
Yeah, speaking regarding Esther and
You speak up.
Speaking regarding Esther and the events that happened in Esther, I found something in the book of Job. If you permit me to read it regarding Esther and Mordecai.
Job where?
Job chapter 5, verse 11, going to verse 15.
Let's go there. Read that.
You want me to read it?
You want to read it?
Oh, yeah.
Read it.
All right. Yeah. God, I'll read it. It's Job chapter 5, verse 11, going to verse 15. To set up on high those that be low, that those which mourn, Esther, may be exalted to safety. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong.
That's right.
They meet with darkness.
Oh, wait a minute. See, all these things, all these things were purpose against us, man. Let you know that, hey, the Most High is gonna bring up the low, those that humble, to safety, not the pride. You hate the pride. Pride is hateful before man and the Most High, right? So he takes the humble, man. He say he disappointed them with the devices of the crafty. Crafty is dealing with the devil. You real slick, crafty, cunning, slick. You know what I mean? Sleekly. What else do I say? Huh? Somebody said something, they shouted so low, you scared to talk up? Who was that? Speak up loud, be loud, wrong, right, whatever, man. Talk up, speak up. What y'all saying?
They said the white man.
Huh?
The so-called white man. That's what they said. Somebody said the so-called white man.
Oh, okay. I mean, speak up.
The abominable.
If you're gonna say it, just say it.
Say it. Speak loud. Come on.
Good.
You know you right. Don't right?
Good.
Con?
Con.
Speak loud about that. Say it. Who said it?
One of the Aqua said it.
Oh, okay. That's why y'all was slow. Okay. That's what we dealt with. Okay, I understand. But y'all on point. They always on point, ain't they?
God.
Go ahead.
All right, so this is verse 14. They meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in noonday, as in the night. But he saveth the poor from the sword, from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty.
That's right, man.
From
So
their
now,
mouth.
These are particular people that we got to look at in our time to be saved since you there. Jump down to verse 17.
Verse 17.
Verse 19.
Job chapter 5, verse 19.
Kind.
He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles.
Just like he just did, man. He just delivered us in all the troubles that we was going to have under the Persian and me from wicked Haman. Read.
Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee.
This is what we want to be, man, for our time. Read.
In famine he shall redeem thee from death.
Yeah. Biden said going to be famine. He's announced that a few times, man. That's why you got to prepare yourself for what's going to go down. Food shortages. Read.
And in from the war power of the sword.
And from what reading?
And in war from the power of the sword.
War, racial wars is coming on this earth, man. He's going to deliver us from the power of the sword, man. What's the modern day sword?
The gun.
That's right. Con, go ahead.
Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue. Neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it comes.
That's right, man. That's what we want to be, man. We're going to be hid from whatever they talking, whatever they saying. We don't hear none of that. So we're going to, at destruction, when it comes, man, we're going to be hid from the destruction that's coming. It's coming. Con? That's what we want to be, man, Reed.
At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh.
That sounds great to me, man. All right,
Right.
Con?
Right.
Yeah. At destruction and famine, we shall what?
Laugh.
We shall laugh, man. We're going to be happy, rejoicing. Go ahead.
That's right.
Most High, Thaahwan, will. Go ahead.
Neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth.
You know, the beast's going to be eating up people, man. They're going to be killing people and eating them up. Go ahead.
For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field. And the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee.
This is what we want to be, man, because the beasts of the field are going to be killing people and eating them up. They're going to be hungry too. Huh?
Gone.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace. And thou shalt visit the habitations and shalt not sin.
That's why anybody talking about we ain't under the law, we under the commandments, they're liars. You hear that? They won't be here. They won't be here, Kai. Right. Say they shall not sin. That's what we talking about. Fear the Most High. Repent, keep the commandments of the Most High, cry unto the Most High. Read for deliverance, for be saved from our enemies in the hand of all that hate us. Read.
Thou shalt know also that thy seed shall be great in thine offspring as the grass of the earth.
Man, that's good. Most High said, well, one man will have how many children?
1,000.
1,000. Yeah, you know that, don't you? You know that, right? Go ahead.
Thou shalt
I'll give you all they get out of my mouth. 1,000. And the people what a people gonna get? A strong nation. A strong nation, man. Yeah.
The book Isaiah.
God. Isaiah 60, 21 and 22. I want to write it down. Go ahead.
Can I say something small about Bishop?
Huh?
I want to say something small about Bishop.
What?
When it says right here, thou shalt come, it says right here, that thou shalt know also that thy seed shall be great, and thine offspring shall be as the grass of the earth. A numerous nation, the last nation that the Most High said to be fruitful and multiply to was Jacob. Genesis chapter 35. You know, Genesis chapter 35, verse 10, going to verse 11.
Nation of kingdom of nations.
Nation
That
of the
all
company.
be, man.
God. This is Job chapter 5, verse
26.
26. Thou shalt come to thy grave in a full age, like as a shock of corn cometh in his season. Verse 27. Lo, this we have searched it. So it is here it and know thou it for thy good.
That's right. Know it for our good, man. It's here, and all praise the Most High for our souls, my brother's side. This glorious day of Purim, man. Most High, Lord, victory of our enemies. Today we go. That's right. All praise the Most High.
So, Laki, let me ask a question. Anybody know another name for the day Purim? For the Feast of Purim?
Another name.
No, another name.
Lot? Day of Lot?
Huh?
Is it Day of Lot? Or Purim?
Yeah, that you can call it that also.
Day of who or what?
Or Purim?
Day of Lots,
Day of lots.
because they cast the lots. Yeah. Yakim.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The Feast of Lots.
Yeah. Something else.
Mordecai's Day.
Prove it.
God. That's it.
Purim is also known as Mordecai's Day.
That's right.
Because Mordecai was really the chief, well, I want to say the chief, but he was one of the main vessels that the Most High used to deliver Israel. Because he was the one counseling Esther, and he was the one really, you know, it always got to go back to the man. The man is the head, okay? Esther was the vessel used, but the counsel and the guidance came from her father, basically, because he took her as his daughter. She was an older cousin, but he took her as his daughter. The counsel and the guidance came from the father, Mordecai. Okay? So, prove it. Yashala.
Yeah, I forgot.
Quick on that sword. Quick on that sword.
It's like I forgot the precinct.
2 Maccabees 15.
Oh yeah, come on.
For the sake of time, I just helped you out. 2 Maccabees 15 and 26. Y'all write this down. This links with Esther 10, 1 through 3.
15
Okay?
and 22.
Yes, 2 Maccabees 15 and 36. 36, my bad. Read that real quick. Read that, Yashala.
Khan, this is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 15, verse number 36. And they ordained all what they